Come to Namaskarasana. Relax the shoulders. Observe the buttock bones. Let the back of the neck lengthen. Relax the eyes. Slacken the lower jaw. And soften the cheeks. So the energy behind the face feels like a waterfall. Relax the outer corners of the eyes. Soften the lips. Let the knees release down. Allow the spine to lengthen up evenly left and right. Crown of the head towards the ceiling or the sky. Allow the heart center to rise up as you allow the thinking brain to release down. Bow the head to the hands. Open the eyes. Release the hands and raise the face. Change across of your legs. Reach the arms out to the sides, turn the palms up, stretch up. You can do this pose sitting on a chair if you find that sitting on a brick is too much. And then lower the arms down. Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles the feet together, knees wide apart. Lie yourself down. Interlace the fingers, push the palms away, and just bring the hands onto the crown of the head. Let the armpits be open. Turn the palms down, change the interlace, and then again push the palms away. Top of the back of the hands on the crown of the head, armpits nice and open. Breath broad and wide. Letting the breath enter the corners of the ribs. Turn the palms down, release the hands down, bring the feet together. Supta Swastikasana. Bend the knees over the chest, crossing the ankles, take the hands and hold the feet or use a belt to go around the ankles if you can't reach your feet. Tip the knees over, keep the knees known. Allow the knees to just gently go down, but don't let them just flop. So that then there's an awareness, a soft awareness in and around the pelvic floor, and it feels like the hips are still contained. Take the arms up and over the head. Get a length from the knees, through the hips, right up into the thumbs. Lower the arms down, put your hands under the thighs, press the little toes towards the floor, squeeze the knees together, bring the legs in, change across of the legs. Take hold of the feet, and then again tip the knees over the feet, knees, legs active, hips gripping in, arms up and over the head. Reach out through those fingertips. Breathe. Lower the arms down, hands underneath the thighs, squeeze the knees in and draw the legs together. Okay, the next one is a warm-up for Padmasana. So I'm just to spin around. Hopefully you'll be able to see. You're going to do figure of 4, so you're going to take your left foot, cross it onto the ankle, and just rest there. Now it might be that you just want to stay here. If you have what I'll call discombobulated hips, whilst they're being discombobulated, we first of all just find out our range of movement. So we don't force anything. So if this is not a pose you normally practice, then you don't want to force anything here. So if this is comfortable, you can stay here. You might then want to put your foot onto a wall or something, so you're just gently drawing that leg towards you. I've got this handy bar. And then if it's comfortable, but you might want to leave just from there to begin with, and then come back to this practice tomorrow or the next day to decide what you want, whether you want to go further. So we'll just do that once, and then the second side, cross the leg. Again, got this figure of 4 shape. Keep the hips square, keep the hips level, tailbone stays in the center. If you want to take it up onto the wall or onto a little bit of height, you can do that. I sprung that on you, didn't I? And then release. Okay, both legs down. I'll come back. So you know what we're doing. We're doing the same thing again, but this time you're going to do figure of 4, and then either feet to the wall or just resting again here like this. Someone in my class last night just stayed here like this, and she just did very gentle, soothing stuff, and she said she had very happy hips this morning. So she worked within her range of motion, but it gave her a sense of release in and around what can be tighter hips for her. If you want to draw the leg in, keep the hips level, hold around the back of the lower leg, let this leg just release down. Breathe. Relax the eyes and release the tongue. And then pop the leg down, and the second side. So there's a nice rotation out on the thigh, and that's required for Padmasana. And then just draw that leg in. Tailbone in the center. And just observe where you're feeling the release or a stretch or some sense of work. And anywhere that you might be holding unnecessary tension, can you let that go? So that's self-study, svadhyaya. And then release. Pop both legs down. Okay? Now, if the last pose that you did was enough, so you didn't want to bring the leg in towards you like this, then the next thing that you can do is you can do back to your Baddha Konasana. You can put your feet, I'll show you. You can roll up a blanket, like so. You're going to put your tailbone on the blanket and your feet on the blanket. So I would put that there, lie down, and then lift up your hips, pull the blanket in, and you want to feel that the abdominal area is a lake, and then the soles of the feet are going to come up on top of that Baddha Konasana, on top of the blanket for your Baddha Konasana. And then you can just allow the arms to come out to the side. And I want you to feel a really nice sense of width in and around that space. If this feels like it's too much, you can always put your bricks just under the hips, or maybe taller under the knees, okay? So there's always something that you can do to give yourself some support. Right, those of you that are not yet going to do that, and those of you in the Baddha Konasana, you can come out whenever you want and just wait or cuddle your knees in. So if you're coming out your Baddha Konasana, you can just bring the knees together and let the feet go out to the side, and you should feel that gives you a nice sense of release in and around the hip area. Got a little bit of yoga knitting to do. So you're going to bring your left foot in and just cuddle the right knee in. The foot is now slid down more. And then release. Second side. If you just thought, oh, I can do that, don't hold yourself back, join in, but don't force anything. So the knees are much more bent now. Keeping the tailbone in the center, and then release. Often what we see is the foot coming in, yeah, important action, yes. And then we see the leg cuddling in, important action, yes, but we forget that the stability in the pose is required. So try and keep your tailbone in the center as you do those things. And then release, and the second side. If you're over the blanket and you need to relax and release, just come out, don't hold it. And then release. Okay, so now for the knitting part, it was a bit more like crochet. One leg in and just draw the other leg behind so it looks like, well, it is a half lotus. And then release without being weight bearing on the hips. Other side, half lotus. And then release, first side again. Tailbone in the center. And then release, and the second side. And then release, okay? I'd like everybody to come to Baddha Konasana flat now. So if you've been on the roll, I just want you to bring the legs together, lift up your hips, slide the blanket out, and just rest first with your feet apart, and then bring the soles of the feet together. Just get a nice length from the inner groin to the inner knee. And then place your hands underneath and roll the legs in. Okay, rest there. Everybody else, we're doing back to the lotus work. So you can, those of you who've just done the Baddha Konasana, you can come back to your figure of 4, or slide that foot down to the base of the hip, draw, so left foot is in the right hip, right leg comes over to see if you can take Padmasana. Do not force the knees. And then release. And the second side. Right leg in, left leg behind. See if you can then take that right knee away to draw the left foot in. Tailbone in the center. Let the thighs do the work over the pelvis and hips. Pelvis and sacroiliac joint. And then release. First side again. And then release. And then the second side. And then release. Okay, bring the ankles together, bring the knees together, bring the hips together. That's everybody. Draw the knees over the chest, take the hands around the shins, and just let the body come into a state of balance. Make sure you're on the tailbone. Check that your knees are level. Breath wide and smooth. Separate the knees. And allow the legs to just widen and just feel the sense of width now across the sacral area. Balance out the hips, buttocks, tailbone. And then draw the knees together. Roll to your side, sit up. You have a choice. You can come to cross legs. So if you're coming into cross legs, just right leg in, left leg over. Okay, sitting up on a height if you wish. Alternatively, you can come to half Padmasana. So here, I prefer, you can sit on a foam pad if you wish. You're going to bring, you've got your right leg in and your left leg over. So you're going to bring the right foot on top, left leg underneath. Sit tall. Sides of the waist lengthen. And then release. Change the cross of the legs. So now we have the left foot on the inside, right leg on the outside. Everybody sitting cross legs. Change across of your legs. Left foot is coming up onto the right thigh. Sit tall. And again, just compare the left and the right side. Crown of the head up, relax the shoulders. And then release. So we've got the right leg in and the left leg over, okay? So if you're in the opposite cross of the legs, change the first cross of the legs. Otherwise, we're coming in towards lotus now, all right? So we're going to draw the right leg onto the top of the left thigh. And now please resist the temptation to lean back, okay? So let your left foot wriggle forwards and allow that right knee to drop down towards the floor. And then actively turn the sole of the foot towards you and take your hand underneath that left calf, okay, underneath the left ankle. You turn from the root of the thigh and slide the foot up. You can bring the hands to the knees and you can sit tall, spine long. Reach out through the collarbones. If you're sitting cross legs, you can place your hands to your knees and you can either press down with the palms. You can take chin mudra, which is thumb and the index finger together but the palms are down. Or if you prefer, jnana mudra, which is the palms up. Breathe. Relax the shoulders. If you need to release, release. Open the hands, softly release the left leg forwards, let the right leg come out, okay? Change the cross of the legs. So if you just lengthen those legs out, make sure your knees feel like they still belong to you. Everybody else who's in cross legs, change across the legs. You're going to sit again, cross legs. So I've got my left foot in first, right leg is out the front. Left foot is coming up into Padmasana, so I'm just drawing that across onto the thigh and notice how the knee moves in towards the midline there. Try not to let the knees go out too far. You remember about trying to stay forwards, resisting the temptation to lean back, and just wriggle that right foot forwards. As the right foot comes forwards, rotate from the thigh out a little, okay? There's a definite rotation there. Take hold of the baby toe side of the foot, bring your hand underneath the ankle and just gently slide that right leg up. Now if this knee is up and hovering, you may need more rotation in the thigh, but the immediate proppage is just to put something underneath that knee to allow the back of the leg to just release there. Then again, hands to the knees, levelize the waist, chin mudra, thumb and index finger together or palms out. Softness through the back ribs. Breathe into the kidney area. above the kidney area, shoulders relaxed, face passive. Lifting up through that lower navel, pubic area to navel. Allow it to move up. Quietly open the eyes and release the hands. Softly release those legs out. Grab your belt. Just here, just a very, what I'll call a soft dandasana. Okay, so as you can see, I've just lengthened the legs out, but I haven't forced them straight yet. And what I like to do, this is my own personal preference, is to stretch the heel away. And the thigh just seems to engage itself. And then just mindfully stretch the other heel away, and the thigh engages itself. And then I allow the backs of the legs to soften down towards the floor. Backs of the thighs to soften down towards the floor, so they start to feel long again. I don't know whether my toes are in shot, but my toes are just wriggling of their own accord. I hadn't realised till I looked at them. It's always a good sign, the toes are saying hello. Okay, and then release. Right, let's just stretch the legs out before we take Shavasana. So have your head supported on something, if you have something to put it on. We'll do Ardha, but Ardha with the lower leg bent. And the right leg is just going to come up to the 90 degrees. I want you to put the belt on the ball of the foot and just very softly pull the ball of the foot down just a couple of times to lengthen out that thigh. Reach up through the heel. And then release, second side. Ball of the foot. Pull the ball of the foot down, reach up through the heel. Ball of the foot down, reach up through the heel. Ball of the foot down, reach up through the heel. And then release. Come back. Now put the belt on the heel. And just allow the heel to connect towards the pelvis. Levelize the waist. You should find the two different belt placements feels completely different for the body. The feedback is different and the response is different. Let go. Belt on the heel. Reach up into the belt. And then let go. Maintain a sense of softness through the abdomen. Lengthen the arms away. And then just gently slide the legs away. Let the legs release down. Make sure that the back is comfortable. Shoulders broad and soft. Breathe. And here, let the body release completely. Let the facial muscles release completely. Relax the area around the hips. Let the tissues of the hip flexors just soften without realizing they've done quite a bit of work. Let the thighs feel heavy. Let the backs of the calves feel heavy. And Just a side note, if you find that the back is uncomfortable with the straight legs, please remember to bend up your legs, or even better, rest the calves on a chair. Then you can equally relax the legs and the pelvis and all that space. And notice often in your practice where your hands, if your hands want to go and touch an area, oftentimes that's the hands talking to the body saying, hey, can you come and bring a sense of softness here? Can you just put some touch on this place for me? Don't be shy of that. If you feel like the thighs need just a soft pressure, just give them a little bit of pressure. Remind them the direction they need to go to release down. Relax the face. Slacken the lower jaw. Release the eyes towards the back of the skull. Resist the urge to pull the tissues away from the floor and embrace the urge or the sense of gravity. Embrace that and let the cells of the body release down. We're going to attempt for immediate relaxation. So as I count from 10 down to 1, I want you to see if you can just let yourself, any tension, release out completely from there. For any areas that hold tight, let them go. 10. On your next exhale, relax the face. 9. Next exhale, relax the shoulders and arms. 8. Next exhale, release the diaphragm, ribs and the heart. 7. Next exhale, release the sides of the waist and the navel. 6. Next exhale, release through the hips and the buttocks. 5. Next exhale, release the thighs, hip flexors and hamstrings. 4. Next exhale, release the knees and the calves. 3. Next exhale, release the heels, soles of the feet. 2. Next exhale, release the front of the body towards the back of the body. 1. Next exhale, release the mind, breathe out, let go. If that was beneficial and you want to stay there, please stay there. If you're watching this on my blog rather than on my YouTube channel, then I think it just goes into pause. Release the hands to your abdomen, rolling the thighs in one at a time. If you're ready to get up, get up. If not, please don't stay there. Follow your next exhalation, roll to your right side. Rest there as long as is necessary. And then looking at the floor, pressing with your hands, come up to sitting. I'm coming to Virasana. Bring the hands into Namaskarasana. Relax the shoulders, relax the eyes, release the tongue. Lift the heart center, bow the head down. Thank you.